When people would hurt me, I used to think it was my fault. When relationships or friendships didn't work out, I would curse my own heart. When my family made comments about my life choices, I would want to disappear. Everyone else was so much more right and true and valid than I was. How painful to exist within the paradigm of those beliefs. Constantly shrinking, denying the God in me. Always too quiet, or on some miraculous day, too loud, too passionate. I didn't realize that so much of the dis-ease I felt in the world was a result of not feeling safe within my internal one. The shift in consciousness from my past self is one that has crept up my spine in the most beautiful and tender way. There is a newfound spaciousness in how I show up. I'm no longer whispering my worth to myself as I rummage through the shadows of my psyche, trying to find the courage to state the smallest of boundaries, to claim the space I take. A few weeks ago, a friend who I hadn't seen in years came to visit me. I would normally get all nervous and try to be whatever my idea of perfect is, likely having some kind of private emotional breakdown at the reality of not feeling like enough. But instead, I felt complete ease in my body and heart. Instead of feeling small, I felt big and full of love, the kind that makes me proud to use my voice and unafraid to sit in moments of silence. I have been practicing radical self-acceptance, and what that looks like is taking 110% accountability for my experience, while also being vocal about the things that make me feel uncomfortable, being unreservedly honest about how I feel and unapologetic about who I am. We are all sensitive. It is not weak or pathetic to reveal that to others. It is such a powerful conduit to deepening intimacy with another. It actually takes a lot of courage that not a lot of people carry. I realize that I don't take things as personally as I used to. If someone doesn't like me, it's really not a reflection of something inherently wrong with my being as a whole, a concept my younger self could never grasp. Maybe it was wrong timing. Maybe we're at different states of consciousness, or we simply don't see each other's unique magic. But no one is wrong in this situation. I truly believe if someone is meant to be in my life, I won't have to chase them or change myself. If someone is meant to be in my life, the lessons and miracles they bring will be clear. Because of the abuse I experienced, feeling safe has been on the forefront of my needs for a very large part of my life. The more I have sourced that safety within, the less I have been seeking it without. My external world has become an extension of the solid foundation I harbor inside myself. I'm currently in New York right now. As you can tell, I came here to empty out my storage unit from my dad's building because he's moving and I didn't want him to have to deal with all of that. So that's kind of what I've been doing for the past 10 days that I've been here, is unpacking things, repacking, shipping things back to my home. And I also really wanted to get my social security card, really random logistical things so that I could work towards getting my license. I definitely had a really emotional first few days here because just so much was coming up around seeing my dad and my sisters and remembering how it feels and like the perceived role that I take in my family unit, and realizing that a lot of the stuff that I've shared online, I haven't necessarily shared with my family, like about my mental illness and about my experiences that I had when my parents weren't home and getting hurt. And it has felt like a lot of ghosts, like shadows that my family doesn't really know are there. I'm like, you actually have no idea what really took place when you weren't around, and that's kind of like awkward. It's not awkward, it's just these really big parts of who I am and my story and my transformation that the people I love most, I feel like, have no idea have really taken place, because I moved out when I was 17 and I haven't really connected with my parents. I don't talk to my parents regularly. I would leave the country and not tell them, because I didn't even know that's a thing that you do with your parents, is tell them when you leave the country. I remember a month ago my friend and I were camping and she was talking about how she talks to her mom every day, and I just felt this remembrance that some people feel safe to talk to their parents and both parties are treated like humans who deserve respect, and I also just felt this hurt, like I really wish I had that kind of relationship with someone in my family. I mean, even my sisters will go months without talking, and it's like everything that happened in my upbringing I thought was normal. And as I've grown older, like the way that my family operates, I'm like, oh yeah, that's just how it's done. Like you move out, you just don't really keep in touch. And it's like, no, actually we're always creating our own rules, but a lot of people do keep in touch with their parents, at least a little bit. And I just feel like I don't even really know who my parents are. They don't really know who I am. And it was making me really emotional. And I had a really nice dinner with my dad, and I kind of shared a lot of stuff with him. He apologized. He opened up about his trauma that he experienced when he was young. It was really healing, and it's not in any way meant to guilt anyone, but just to let things be seen and understood and not feel like anything is hidden or unspoken. So yeah, that was pretty much like the first 10 days I was here. It was just like family trauma, let's unpack it, let's look at it, let's have these uncomfortable conversations, but also let me be the example to my parents of how vulnerable of a connection I want to have with them, and how courageous we can be in the way that we rest in our emotions, even if they're really intense or dense. And there's no such thing as good or bad emotions. Like, it took me so long on my mental health journey to realize that, like, being sad is not inherently a bad thing. It's just a spotlight on some area of hurt that needs to be looked at. And it's like, oh, okay, why is this coming up? Where does it come from? Unpack it. And now I'm just so much less reactive to my emotions because I'm not demonizing one or the other. It's just all part of the spectrum and all valid and all holy and sacred. And a lot of times sadness and hurt is just areas where we lack love, where love wasn't given to us, or where we are closing our own hearts to receiving love from others. And it's all an opportunity to heal, witness, grow, evolve, break through our karmas, set other people free by forgiving them. That's the thing. I know with full certainty that my parents tried the best that they could, and shit was still messy and hurtful and abusive and traumatic, but everyone's childhood is in some way. And there's no anger because I know they were doing the absolute best that they could. And I know that they're angels and that I definitely chose them to mold me into this human today. My mom would always say that when you were in the starry sky, you looked down and you chose the people who you wanted to raise you into this world, to teach you all the lessons that you needed to learn. And you chose me. And she was like, and I chose you. And it was just really sweet. But I always think of that. That's part of the reason why I wanted to open up these conversations with my parents too, is because I've been through a transformation, and I am a survivor, and I'm a fucking warrior, and I have overcome so much inner density and have unpacked so much trauma, and am a completely different person. The way that I'm capable of showing up now is so much more grounded and confident and excited and hopeful and liberated, and I have so many tools. I feel like I've just been through the thick of it with my depression and life-ending thoughts and self-harm, which was, I think, almost 10 years of like me cutting myself that I haven't engaged in so long, and overcome daily anxiety and have learned to state my boundaries and use my voice and not give people my body who aren't deserving. How to honor my death and life cycles. I'm just genuinely just proud of myself for all that I've learned and integrated into my life. And since being in New York, I've realized how the things that I've been kind of reprogramming within my mind are really taking root in the way that I'm showing up and embodying my practices and tools. It's like I go out in the world in this city, and even a year ago I noticed like the way that I carry myself, the way that I feel energetically, the way that I interact with my fellow New Yorkers is so much different, and I just feel so much less of this fear in my body all the time. And I'm excited to just have little banter with the cashier, which is something I would just always avoid. Even little things like that. Like, I'm just here for the moment. I'm here to fully step in and breathe deeply into whatever experience is surging up within or without me. That's a really good feeling when all the lessons and practices you've been using, you can actually feel yourself embodying them, and it's not just something you're telling yourself anymore. I'm feeling happy and grounded and excited and curious and a little lonely and a little vulnerable and so deeply grateful and so surrendered. I feel ready to allow life to keep happening to me and to be an active participant in making life intentional and beautiful and poetic. I continue to release control or the illusion that I'm meant to control anything, really. I've been finding myself trying to plan my whole life and to think what I might like in 10 years from now or make like a 5-year plan, but honestly, I'm just trying to really settle into what feels good right now and not over romanticize or idealize anything other than what is truly bringing me joy right now. And oftentimes it's the little things. And so that's just more of what I want, is sacred community and yoga practice and nature and being able to support the people that I love in any way that they need, and having the time and space to slow down. That's a gift, that's a privilege. Anyway, hello, good morning. I'm about to run to the post office. I have my little cart. I never feel like more of a New Yorker than when I'm pushing these bad boys around. I'm honestly running a little bit behind today, so I'm just gonna play my music and get my errands done. I had 2 bagels this morning. Everything bagels, toasted twice, with vegan cream cheese. I mean, back from the post office. Now I need to get into some emails. I'm actually really horrible at just answering emails, and I feel very unprofessional for that reason. I have so many little bags, listening to emo love songs this morning. Feeling great, feeling ready, feeling joyful, inspired, energetic, in love with life, feeling blessed, feeling grateful, and aware of all the miracles that I get to receive every day. Whoa, I want to see.
I'm just like, I'm gonna draw my ass
You grew up
right
in New York. Something about me being short or something. Short with a big tail.
now. Like, there's a reason for it. Like, there's a reason why I have this energy and just exude it.
Doing my laundry today. I'm back home. Did all my laundry. I completely forgot how long it takes to get things done in New York, especially laundry if there's no laundry in your building, but I'm so happy that I got that done. It was like a decent amount of time with all the walking. I ate some really yummy vegan mac and cheese. I'm sorry I didn't document it, but it was incredible. And I found myself getting a little cranky or just like less trusting. I was like, I don't know if I should walk to this vegan restaurant while my stuff is in the dryer, because what if someone takes it? Then I finally ate something and my whole world changed. If you ever find yourself being a little bit pessimistic or less trusting in the world, or maybe a little bit more anxious or down or exhausted, instead of internalizing it and being like, what is wrong with me? Why am I such a bad person? Or why am I so tired? Or why do I feel depressed right now? It's like, maybe retrace your steps a little bit, see if you've eaten anything, see if you've been getting good sleep lately, see if you've been speaking your truth to the people who need to hear it. You know, check in with your actions, and maybe you've been doing a lot of things that have been draining your energy, you know? And then you don't have to spiral, which is something that is very easy to do, especially if you have experienced depression or anxiety or life-ending thoughts in the past. It's so easy to spiral back and be like, I'm just getting depressed again, but it's not always the case, and sometimes it is. Sometimes you have a chemical imbalance, but when you've been doing good and you find yourself extremely energetically depleted, sometimes there's just little hacks that you can do to shift that around. And I personally, if I wake up, the lighting is changing again because it's raining, but if I wake up feeling really sad for more than 3 days in a row, I really check in with myself and I'm like, I need to change something in my external reality. I need to phone a friend. I need to come up with a plan, because I have experienced immense sadness, and so I guess I know the warning signs, and I just try to check in with myself before things get too far or go too far unnoticed. And I don't want to wake up feeling sad. I want to wake up feeling excited about my day and at least hopeful of what I can create and the love that I get to share with people around me. I'm honestly someone who actually really needs to be around people. And I mean, most of us are. Everyone needs human interaction. Everyone needs to feel loved and appreciated and valued. I feel like I just branded myself as an introvert or as someone who likes to be alone to grow, and I think that's so important. And I have learned so much about myself in community, living in the house that I live in. I have learned so much about showing up imperfectly every single day, and that I can still be worthy of love, that I can feel safe in a home. I've learned how to speak my boundaries. I've learned that I don't have to run away from human confrontation. Like, I can just rest in all of it. It's getting really dark. There's definitely a storm brewing. I want to have people that I love around me, just at all times accessible. I don't want to ever be in a place where I'm really cut off from that. Please enjoy the ambient sounds of a rainy New York City as I take my curls out. It's 90 degrees in New York City today, and this is what I'm wearing. I don't think I could wear any more than this, and I'm really, really comfortable. I spent the day yesterday with my grandma and my nephew. I've been definitely having family days and days where I'm moving out of my dad's storage unit that I haven't been recording because I just want to be present with my family. It's the least I could do. My grandma made me vegan food. This means so much to me because she normally cooks from a certain range of Venezuelan recipes that mostly all have butter or milk of some sort or meat, usually pork or beef. But she took the time to make me this delicious garlic lemon yuca and lentils and rice, and she made ratatouille, like her version of it, with tons of veggies and green beans. And I don't know, I just have never felt more loved. I just used to always feel really scared of being judged by her, and so I just wouldn't open up as much. I didn't feel comfortable even at her house because I wasn't raised with her, and I knew she was not the biggest fan of my mom's parenting style and didn't really approve of the way that we were raised, or the fact that I had tattoos or piercings or didn't go to college. And I always felt like, you don't like me, so I don't know, why you want me here. I didn't understand that just because someone has past projections that they're putting on you, that means that they love you any less. I know in my heart that just means she cared about me more. I still haven't shown her my tattoos, so I was wearing a long sleeve yesterday. Once again, it was 90 degrees and that was a little bit rough. I don't want to disappoint her too much. I just realized that at the end of the day, she just wants to know that I love and accept her just as much as I need that from her. Every time that I go there and I don't have a panic attack and I hang out with my family, it's just such a big deal to me and such a big healing and testament to the growth and healing that I have been through. And I just feel really, really grateful for that I can be around my family and feel safe. And it's mostly because I feel safe within myself. Nothing hurts anymore. And I kind of feel like crying. I think Mercury is in retrograde right now, and it has been an emotional one. I've just been really, really releasing any kind of energy that needs to be seen and witnessed and felt, any little hurts, any sensitivities. I feel so bare and exposed, and I love it. I feel like everything is touching me so deeply, and I'm just surrendering to that. I'm pretty much either smiling into this great void or laughing alone at the park or laying on the grass crying and bawling my eyes out. Not even bawling my eyes out. It's kind of this like poetic Lana Del Rey crying where I just know I look mysterious and I'm just like yeah, something like that. Anyway, I'm going to meet my friend Maya at the park. Concrete paradise. I'm heading to my favorite shipping printing place. Basically, it takes me an hour to get everywhere from Bed-Stuy. It's like 40 minutes, 35, but then with me walking and me talking to strangers and stopping by stoop sales, it just ends up taking longer. But I'm really excited. I have a bag full of stuff that I'm shipping out. I have my kimono that I'm going to ship to my house. I'm taking a COVID test today. It's like also an hour away. I'm wearing an outfit that I have worn before. If you're watching this is a reminder. Do take a deep breath into your tummy and don't worry about your tummy pushing out or looking big. This is biologically the correct way to breathe, and just the most efficient way to bring oxygen into your body is by breathing into your diaphragm. It also helps strengthen your pelvic floor and is good for digestion. I'm gonna head out the door. I'm really excited for my day, and yeah, let's go. I'm going to the gyno today because my insurance covers it here, and it's only like a $15 copay, if that, so I just figured I might as well do that. Ooh, I have some nice sideburns going on right now. Ooh. All my little baby hairs. I feel like I used to go to the gyno a lot. Like in a lot of my other New York vlogs, you would see me going to the gyno because it's covered by my insurance. So many people in New York take Aetna insurance. And I am not a hypochondriac, but I just love going to the gyno. I just feel safe, and literally anytime I would hook up with anyone, anytime, even if I just like so much as made out with them, I would get tested after every single partner that I had, and that just has always worked for me and made me feel safe. And I haven't had any like new partners, but I just want to go because it's been a few months. So yeah, I'm doing that this morning. I've been all over creation. I probably look a little bit like a mess right now. It's noon. I was gonna say it's noon o'clock. I just wanted to say how much is lost when you have headphones on, and I've been doing that for sure when I don't feel like interacting with people, but I've been having the best conversations with strangers everywhere I go. People commenting on my tattoos, dropping into the depth and into the heart so effortlessly, into the truth and the spiritual, and I really thrive off of that, and I'm just loving that. The time has come. It's my last day in New York and I'm about to head out. I'm shipping a bunch of packages and I'm gonna have a friend over later. I think we're gonna watch this movie called Minari. I did the robe curls in my hair for an hour, so I don't know if they'll come out, but I feel like they'll complete my look tonight. And they're gonna fall throughout the night. Oh, they're too curly right now. And this is my outfit of the night. Everything is secondhand, and I'm wearing my demonias, my goth boots, with this purse I thrifted in Paris. And yeah.